this meeting to order of the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District on February 25th, 2021 at 9:02 a.m. If the clerk could please call the roll so we can establish a quorum.
Director Aquino?
Here.
Director Daniels?
Here.
Director Desmond?
Here.
Director Frost?
Here.
Director Guerra?
Here.
Director Harris?
Here.
Director Kennedy?
Here.
Director Laloe?
Here.
Director Natoli? Is absent. Director Papineau?
Here.
Director Cerna? Is absent. Director Singh Allen? Absent. Director Terry?
Here.
Director Vang?
Here.
We have quorum. You're on mute, Chair Guerra.
Oh, thank you very much. If everyone could please rise and join me on the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you very much. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in that tradition here. If the board clerk could please read the announcements for those watching online.
In compliance with directives of the State and Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the physical location of this meeting is closed to the public, consistent with state guidelines on social distancing and California Executive Order number N2920. Members of the public are encouraged to participate in the meeting by observing the meeting in real time at www.sacmetrocable.tv, Zoom video conference, and by submitting written comments electronically by email at boardclerk@airquality.org. Comments submitted in person will be delivered to the Board of Directors by staff. Public comments regarding matters under the jurisdiction of the Board of Directors will be acknowledged by the chairperson and accepted until the adjournment of the meeting, distributed to the Board of Directors, and included in the record. This meeting of the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District is cablecast live without interruption on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T U-verse cable system. This meeting is being closed captioned and will be webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Today's meeting will be repeated on Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021 at 2 p.m. on Channel 14.
Thank you very much, Selena. Appreciate that. We'll commence with our first item on the agenda, which is our Air Pollution Control Officer's Report. But before we do that, I just want to remind the public that to always visit sparetheair.com, and today's a good air quality day. We're at the edge of the good air quality at 46 AQI in the ozone, and it is a bit windy, but we've got some particulates out there, but at least we've got good ozone here. So with that, our Air Pollution Control Officer, Dr. Ayala.
Thank you, Chair Guerra. Good morning, board. I like that point about starting the board meeting with a report on the current air quality. Maybe we should make it a tradition. That's a good idea. I like it. But I have four brief topics to share with the board. The first one, if you can advance the slides, Madam Clerk. The first one is sharing a simple point about three important collaborations that we are pursuing. You have in your board packets the copies of the actual letters that are on the slide. But as you know, because transportation emissions are the largest source of air and climate pollution, not only in our district, but throughout California and the US, getting to electrification and zero emission vehicles in our transportation sector is critically important. We're still very much at the early stage of that transition to electric vehicles. And for that reason, we still need a lot of demonstrations. And that is one of the areas where we as an air district can play a big role. And we tend to think of ourselves as leaders in that regard. And what you have here is a simple point about three important projects. We are pursuing with our partners some state funding from Caltrans, from CC, and from ARB And you can see who the partners are. We have one collaboration being led by UC Riverside. Another one is a consortium of private and public agencies, for example. And the third one is this concept of an inland port, which is, how to more efficiently move goods that come through the ports throughout California. All of them are targeting getting funding so that we can deploy zero emission vehicles, both battery electric trucks as well as fuel cell electric trucks. And we're also targeting getting funding for some infrastructure. So again, if we are successful, we will be seeing in our region emerging technologies like some of these trucks that are coming onto the marketplace. We will see more and more infrastructure, which obviously is needed to support the transition. So keep your fingers crossed for us, and obviously we will keep you up to date in terms of if we are successful competing for some of these state funding. Next slide, please. The next one, staying on the theme of collaboration, is I simply just wanted to point out a couple important initiatives that we as an air district are also supporting. These are probably well known to most of you, to many of you. The first one is what our friends over at SACOG are naming Green Means Go, which is really putting our region on the path to meet the GHG reduction goals that the state has set for us. And as you have heard, for Green Means Go to be able to put us on that path to meet the 19% reduction in GHG emissions from transportation, we need funding. And we are going to be working with our friends over at SACOG and provide our support, our voice, and our perspective in terms of why developing infield and reducing BMT is also beneficial for clean air and carbon reductions. And the second one is, again, simply a letter that we signed on to. You can see on the right, there are many partners, but really this is a request to the federal administration that they should be particularly mindful of public transit that has obviously taken a significant hit because of the pandemic. And, from our perspective, from a clean air and low carbon agency, we want to come back to a more normal way of going about our business, but we certainly don't want to do it in a very vehicle centric, one person in one car type of approach. We want to make sure that we can come back to some type of, sharing of vehicles, better mobility, et cetera. And public transit is going to be critical for that. Next slide, please. Switching gears here. Now we're going to talk a little about wildfires. You may recall that we've reported to the board that in 2019, Assemblymember McCarty authored legislation, AB 661, that called for the Sacramento Air District to develop a coordinated response plan to respond to wildfire smoke emergencies in our district. And that project is well underway. One of the things that we have to do is we're expected to go back to the legislature by the beginning of next year and report on what we've been able to accomplish. But one of the elements that we are about to embark on is a survey of all of our businesses in the Air District jurisdiction in the county to try to get information in terms of the various responses that businesses on their own have been able to implement when they get impacted, as we often do, from wildfires that happen around us. Again, this is simply to get a snapshot of how businesses are dealing with the issue, and hopefully we can begin to distill some of the best practices and put it into our report that we need to take back to the legislature. So our ask for you, as you can see, we're going to be working with our partners, not only public health at the county, but also Breathe California, who's going to be administering the survey. So our ask is that you get the word out. Once the survey is out, we will let you know. Please take it back to your councils, to your commissions, let people know, let your constituents know that that we want the information so that we can do a better job in terms of not only understanding how we currently respond, but most importantly, what are the information gaps? What are the actions? What are the things that we need to do to be better at protecting ourselves when the next fire hits? Next slide, please. And my last point is something that just happened recently, and I'm going to let Chair Guerra and Director Lalui share their perspective if they wish. But we just had a very successful event, a groundbreaking of what we're calling a mobility hub in Del Paso Heights. And as you can see, a mobility hub is essentially a location that will include a number of important zero emission technology developments. It'll have actual zero emission vehicles for car sharing, infrastructure. We're going to set up some of our very successful programs like community car sharing there. It will essentially be a really good addition for just basic beautification of the community, a community that definitely needs the attention. I love this concept because it's cutting edge. No other place in the U.S. or the world, for that matter, has actually, constructed and developed a mobility hub. The concept has been around for a couple of years, but we're the first to actually break ground and hopefully the first to actually have it on the ground. And we think of this as innovation in future mobility. I mean, that is really what this is thinking in a different way in terms of how do we provide mobility solutions, not just transportation, but better mobility solutions, and in particular, do it in communities that have been marginalized for many years. This is all about environmental justice. And what a proud moment it is that here we are, the Sacramento Area District being the first to actually break ground in such a concept. So let me stop there. And that concludes my report, Chair Guerra. So if you or Director Lalui want to share anything about this, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Ayala. And I do want to thank the staff, both Gina, Stephanie, and Mike, and then Jaime Limas here, all of our Air District staff, because this really took a multi-agency effort to do this. This was a vacant lot over on Grand and May that had been an eyesore, a lot of illegal dumping, blight in that area, and over a power line too. So for anyone who understands where you have large power lines through your neighborhood, it really impedes a lot of use and development. But this was a good way of being able to look at that space, figure out how we can achieve a better use for it, and more importantly, how do we meet our air quality goals? Along with it, many of the young people who you see there are going to be benefiting from this. They're already talking about how they want to become engineers, and they never thought about this as a real pathway for them. So it's exciting to, one, get this technology and this concept of bridging not only air quality, but economic development all in one piece here together. And I think that's the bigger message too. I personally was excited to see the Toyota fuel cell vehicles that were there. When I started my engineering degree, a fuel cell fit in the back of a van. Now it's in a little Toyota, so which is pretty exciting to see. But also they'll have a shuttle bus program that's an electric shuttle bus program for seniors, and also for some of the students who are involved in the construction programs to be able to get to their construction work sites too. So multi-point there, but bigger is just it gave a lot of pride to everybody. So let me kick that over to, speaking of community pride, Councilmember Laloi, to see if he has any comments on this.
Well, I think it's a great project. As Councilmember Guerra alluded to, this was a piece of a parcel that we had absolutely no use for it. We couldn't build houses on it, recreation, or even commercial. And to bring something like this to Del Paso Heights, I think it's a great beginning on what the possibilities can be. I know the community is very excited, especially since it's so concentrating on youth as well. So a great project, and looking forward to see a lot more of this in every community, and especially in underserved communities. So it's a new start and a new chapter for communities like Del Paso Heights. So very excited, and I'll drive by it actually every day since we did the grand opening, the groundbreaking celebration, and it's exciting. It's active. You don't see any trash on the street, and so we killed two birds with one stone. Clean air, clean street, and of course the involvement of the youth. So thank you very much.
Oh, yes, thank you. We had the brother of the brother there that was there also working with the community, so appreciate that. Any other questions from board members? I don't see any hands raised here. Anyone on the phone from our board? And if not, I don't see anyone punching up. I want to thank you, Dr. Ayala, for that air pollution control officer's report, and we'll continue on with our business here of the day, the consent calendar. Madam Clerk.
The next item on the agenda is the consent calendar. Item number 1, January 28th, 2021, Board of Director meeting minutes. Item number 2, contracts with Avail Services, Inc. and PHE, Inc., DBA Phil Hoput Electric for electric vehicle supply equipment services.
Great. I'll entertain a motion from the board here.
I'll move adoption of the consent calendar.
Second.
Perfect. And I think I heard, I saw Mr. Daniels there lipping his second there or not, but okay, well, it's been moved and seconded there by Board Member Aquino and seconded by Board Member Harris. Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public signed up to speak on this item?
No, we do not.
If not, then I'll ask if there are any questions from the board here. Bring them back to the board. Seeing no questions from the board, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Director Aquino,
Aye.
Director Daniels,
Aye.
Director Desmond,
Aye.
Director Frost,
Aye.
Director Guerra,
Aye.
Director Harris,
Aye.
Director Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Laloe,
Aye.
Director Natoli is absent, Director Papineau,
Aye.
Director Cerna, absent, Director Singh Allen, absent, Director Terry,
Aye.
Director Vang.
Yes.
This item passes.
Great. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We have one item in our public hearings that we have to conduct. Madam Clerk?
The next item, public hearing, item number 3, 2019 report on the Air Toxics Hotspots Information and Assessment Act. And I have Michelle Joe from our Station Resources Division on the line to give a presentation.
Good morning, Michelle. Thanks for joining us here today.
Good morning, Chair Garrett and directors of the board. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. So my name is Michelle Joe from the Stationary Sources Division, and I'll be presenting an overview of our air toxics program and the 2019 Air Toxics Hotspots annual report for the board to file and receive. Next slide, please. In this presentation, I'll present an overview of Toxics 101, air toxics programs at the federal, state, and local level, the AB 2588 program, risk assessment results, and upcoming AB 617 related amendments. Then I would like to ask the board to open this presentation to public hearing. Next slide, please. First, I'll start with a brief Toxics 101. A toxic air contaminant is a substance that's emitted into the air that may affect human health, either by causing cancer as a carcinogen or other adverse health effects. And examples are benzene from gas stations and diesel particulate matter from engines. Cancer risk is the probability of a person developing cancer as a result of a lifetime exposure to carcinogenic substances. Individual cancer risk is the added statistical risk above the background cancer risk, which is estimated to be about 680 in a million in the Sacramento Valley. And a cancer risk of greater than 10 in a million indicates a high risk. A hazard index is a way to gauge whether exposure to a toxic may result in adverse non-cancer health effects. And this is done by comparing the acute short-term 1-hour exposure or the chronic long-term lifetime exposure to a maximum reference level not expected to cause health effects. And examples of acute effects are skin irritation, fatigue, and nausea. And examples of chronic effects are coughing, drowsiness, and tremors. And a hazard index of greater than or equal to 1 indicates a high risk. Next slide, please. So the pillars for controlling air toxics are federal, state, and local regulations enforced at the local level through our permits. At the federal level, EPA identifies hazardous air pollutants and develops national emission standards. Then at the state level, CARB identifies additional toxic air contaminants, establishes control measures, requires school noticing, and oversees the air toxics hotspots program. And then at the local level, we develop rules and establish management policies to control toxics through permits and implement the air toxics hotspots program. Next slide, please. So in addition to our permitting process and in response to increasing public concern about toxic emissions in the air, the Air Toxics Hotspots Information and Assessment Act, or Assembly Bill AB 2588, as I'll refer to it hereafter, was enacted in 1987. AB 2588 requires facilities to report the types and quantities of toxic substances they routinely and predictably release into the air, with the goals to assess health impact, reduce risk, and inform the public. And as required under the Health and Safety Code, the district is required to disseminate this annual report to county boards of supervisors, city councils, and local health officers, and to hold a public hearing to present and discuss the results of this report. Next slide, please. So the types of facilities subject to AB 2588 fall into two categories. Core facilities, which may emit greater than 10 tons per year of criteria pollutants, such as power plants, landfills, hospitals, and aggregate plants, and industry-wide facilities, which are typically small businesses belonging to similar industries that emit toxics. This is such as diesel engines, gas stations, and chrome platers. And for these small businesses, as a cost-effective approach, the district streamlines this process by surveying facilities for throughput data and performing screening risk assessments for them. In our district, we currently have 27 core facilities and 1,094 industry-wide facilities out of about 2,200 permitted facilities. And overall, we have relatively few core facilities, especially compared to other air districts like South Coast, which have around 1,600 core facilities. Next slide, please. So once a facility becomes subject to AB 2588, they're required to submit an emission inventory plan and then report their toxic emissions in a report. The district then calculates a prioritization score for each facility based on the type, quantity, and potency or toxicity of their reported emissions. High priority facilities are then required to submit a health risk assessment, which estimates the increased cancer risk and non-cancer hazard indices from exposure to their toxic emissions. High-risk facilities are then required to notify the public and reduce their risk. Next slide, please. A health risk assessment is a 4-step process that involves hazard identification, exposure assessment, dose response assessment, and risk characterization. And in AB 2588, facilities are categorized into one of the following risk categories. High risk, meaning a cancer risk greater than or equal to 10 in a million. Intermediate risk, meaning a cancer risk between 1 and 10 in a million. And low risk, meaning a cancer risk of less than 1 in a million. To put risks in perspective, a cancer risk of 10 in a million means that in a population of 1 million people, not more than 10 additional people would be expected to develop cancer as a result of exposure to a toxic substance. Risk assessments are conservative estimates based on assumptions that tend to overestimate rather than underestimate risk, such as assuming a person is outdoors in the same location and continuously being exposed to a toxic substance for 30 years. And for an idea of the size of risk, the continuum above presents some risk for familiar events. And health risk assessments evaluate the range of risks from the less serious, such as coughs and headaches, to the more serious, such as birth defects and cancer. Next slide, please. In 2015, the guidelines used to perform risk assessments under AB 2588 were updated to explicitly consider infants and children, as required by the Children's Environmental Health Protection Act of 1999, and to reflect studies that have shown that early life exposures to toxics contribute to an increased risk of developing cancer compared to exposures later in adulthood. And although the effects of these changes will vary depending on the facility and the receptor, Overall, they were expected to increase previously calculated cancer risk by 1.5 to 2 times. Next slide, please. So prompted by these 2015 updates, we adopted revised prioritization and risk assessment guidelines and reassessed our existing core facilities by requesting updated inventories and calculating prioritization scores. Those facilities that ranked as high priority were required to perform a risk assessment under the updated guidelines. Next slide, please. The risks from these high priority facilities were all determined to be less than the high risk level of 10 in the million cancer risk, with intermediate risk facilities required to submit an emission inventory update every 4 years, and low risk facilities exempt from reporting. Additionally, we review the criteria emissions inventory annually for facilities emitting greater than 10 tons per year of criteria pollutants to determine if new facilities are subject to the program, or if previously exempt low-risk facilities may again be subject if certain reinstatement criteria are met. Next slide, please. So for the industry-wide category of diesel-fired engines, we reviewed 758 facilities, which included agricultural, prime power, and emergency standby engines. Cancer risk is driven by the toxic diesel particulate matter from engine exhaust. And all facilities were below the 10 in a million high-risk threshold, except for 4 facilities which were currently in the process of considering site-specific factors to further refine their risk. Next slide, please. For the industry-wide category of gas stations, we reviewed 333 retail facilities. Cancer risk here is driven by the toxic benzene and gasoline vapors, and all facilities were below the 10 in a million high-risk threshold. Next slide, please. Finally, for the industry-wide category of chrome platers, we reviewed 3 facilities as part of the permitting process. Cancer risk is driven by the toxic hexavalent chromium from the chroming process, and all facilities were below the 10 in a million high-risk threshold. Next slide, please. So since the passage of AB 2588, additional efforts have been made to address toxics. In January 2020, the regulation for the reporting of criteria air pollutants and toxic air contaminants, or CTR, became effective to support the mandates of AB 617 and AB 197. The CTR seeks to improve upon existing criteria and toxics emission inventories to meet the community protection, public right to know, and comprehensive needs of these mandates. Then in November 2020, the Emission Inventory Criterion Guidelines, or EICG, was amended to harmonize with the reporting requirements of the CTR. When these new requirements take effect in 2022, they'll greatly expand emission reporting requirements and provide additional public access to air quality information. However, although the district supports these overall goals, no state funding is being provided for this new mandate. Not only will it significantly increase district workload, it will impact all permitted facilities with additional costs to track and report, learning curves for those that haven't reported previously, and possible increases in permit fees to recoup district resources. Next slide, please. Overall, based on the combined efforts of AB 2588 and state regulations such as air toxic control measures, which reduce perchloroethylene from dry cleaners and hexavalent chromium from chrome platers, the truck and bus regulation, which reduced diesel particulate matter from retrofitting and replacing diesel engines, the gasoline reformulation program, which reduced benzene and 1,3-butadiene from gasoline, and the Toxic Air Contaminant Identification Control Program, which established the Scientific Review Panel, the collective ambient cancer risk from the 7 most significant risk contributors in California declined from 3,000 in a million in 1990 to 730 in a million in 2012. And in the Sacramento Valley, the ambient cancer risk declined from 2,830 in a million in 1990 to 680 in a million in 2014. Statewide and locally, this is a 76% reduction in cancer risk and shows that the collective implementation of all these programs have resulted in drastic reductions in exposure to toxics, despite increases in population and the number of vehicles. Next slide, please. Finally, in reflecting on AB 2588's past, this program was established more than 30 years ago and became the foundation for many other air toxics programs in California. It also provided the necessary mechanism for public notification and risk reduction when toxic exposures from facilities could cause elevated health risks. Then ongoing, which are the key activities from this past year of updating core facility inventories, prioritization scores, and risk assessments, and screening risk from diesel engine and gas stations. And then its future, which are the key activities for the next year of continuing the district's ongoing efforts to regulate and reduce toxic air emissions, identifying new core and industry-wide facilities, and incorporating the AB 617 CTR and EICG amendments, which will further expand on AB 2588's efforts for community protection, emission reduction, and improving data transparency and accessibility for all. Next slide, please. And I thank you all so much for your time. Are there any questions or comments before we open to public hearing?
Michelle, if you don't mind just going to the previous slide, that would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for that report. And if there are no questions from the board, I don't see any hands raised there. I will move to open the public hearing here. We'll open the public hearing, Madam Clerk.
Erica.
Thank you.
Erica, I do have a question.
Oh, yes, Councilmember Harris.
Yeah, thank you. Michelle, a question about gasoline fueling stations. So many were intermediate risk, some were low risk. What constituted the difference? Was it the volume of fuel that flowed through the station or some other factor that made some gas stations lower risk?
For this screening risk, it was mainly based on gasoline throughput. And if we had some gas stations that were screened to be high risk, as in 10 in a million or above cancer risk. And for those, we then performed a refined site-specific health risk where we included site-specific factors such as the location and terrain and the actual receptors around them. But for this initial screening risk assessment, it was mainly based on the gasoline throughput. So higher gasoline throughput facilities had higher risk generally.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair. That's my only question.
Great. Other questions from members of the board? If not, Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public signed up to speak?
No, we do not.
Great. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing at this point, and we don't need any action on this. Is that correct, Michelle? This is a required public hearing?
Correct. It's just for you to file and receive. Thank you.
Perfect. And all I'll say is I do want to thank our Air District staff. Before COVID hit, we have a responsibility as the Air District to go to many of these facilities to review and ensure that we're protecting the public health of our neighbors. But these facilities are also significantly large employers for our region and are also have this balancing act that we're making sure that we help them assist in making sure that they're meeting their health standards. And to do that, I think effectively means that our staff should have a good relationship with them and get to know them and how their processes work. So I do want to thank Dr. Ayala. And I think it was I'm blanking on the name, Dr. Ayala, who was it Jamie that was going out with us to visit the staff?
I'm blanking also, Chair Guerra, what are you referring to?
Yeah, when we visited, say, for example, Siemens and other plants.
Oh,
and
Jaime.
Yeah, Jaime.
Mr. Lanos, yes.
Oh, Mr. Lynn, yes. Oh my gosh. I talk to him all the time here. So I do want to thank our staff for going out and getting to know the operators, visiting the facility, understanding their operation, and not just from an external standpoint. And so I know some of those are in many of our districts here throughout the county, and I appreciate that extra effort to go out and understand how their operations work. With that I think concludes our report on our discussion items. Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public signed up to speak on public comment items not on the agenda?
No, we do not.
Great. Thank you very much. Then board member ideas, comments, and AB 1234 reports.
Chair?
Yes, I've got board member Harris and I got board member Daniels after that.
So I just wanted to say I appreciated your comment on the last item. Getting to know the businesses, especially the employers, is really key to making this work. We're facing the same thing with our electrification ordinance. You know, we want to meet toxic goals. We want to meet climate change goals and not shut down businesses in the process. It's a really important piece of what we do as decision makers, is make sure that businesses have a climate in which they can survive. But a lot of it is education. You know, it's in everybody's best interest to have the best business plan that causes little damage, right? So we have to move forward collectively, you know, and not have too heavy a hand in the process to the point where we cause lack of employment and financial stress for our constituents. It's a tough balance sometimes, but I just want to say I appreciated your comments.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Board Member Harris. Board Member Daniels.
Thank you. And I would like to thank Council Member Harris for those comments. I think those were very right on. We lost a extremely valuable member of our board, Council Member Hansen. I shouldn't get political, so I won't go into anything like that. But at the risk of maybe it happened and I missed it, or maybe something's coming up, do we plan on honoring his service here sometime soon with something during the board meeting?
Thank you, Director Daniels. We did do a recognition for our outgoing board members. And I can't remember if that was in January or it was in December, but we couldn't do the photo op like we normally do, but we did recognize them virtually, and then we sent them. My understanding is a nice little recognition. Clearly not enough for the years of service he did and this time as chair, but I think we did. Dr. Yao, when did we do that?
You are correct. We did it at the beginning of the year, and yeah.
Did we do that during last month's meeting?
We actually did that during the October board meeting.
Oh, that's right, because his term ended before his appointment.
Okay, I might have missed that then.
Yeah.
So, but okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Well, no, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Sorry, Chair Gett, I was going to say we're certainly not opposed to more recognition. I agree with you. Serving on our board is very much appreciated by all of us. So,
yeah, I mean, again, I'm sad that I missed that because I felt that Councilmember Hansen was extremely important to what we did or do, and it's unfortunate that he's no longer here.
Well, yeah, it was Member Hansen, Member Carr, and somebody else from, I want to say, Galt too.
Hansen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I
yeah, because Larry didn't run and Steve's race was over in June, so we knew before that election cycle that they weren't going to be continuing.
Okay,
that's correct. Yeah, I have Board Member Aquino here as well.
You may already be planning this, but I would certainly be interested in having a board field trip to that mobility hub once it's completed, so we can all see.
That would be a great suggestion, Dr. Ayala.
That is a great idea. Not only to the mobility hub, but we should think about taking you all out to some of these, major points of interest, like one of these facilities. I mean, we just talked about, and we believe that it is important for us as an air district to have a relationship with the businesses that we are regulating. We should, as we did with Chair Guerra, we should extend the invitation to all of you. If there's a facility in your district, that perhaps you come along with us. So that's a great idea. We'll definitely make it happen, Director Aquino.
Thank you.
So Dr. Ayala, I think it's fair to say that we all have a heightened need for field trips right now. And as soon as we can get out, we're going to be out in force.
You got it, Director Harris. I hear you. I hear you.
A lot of site visits. Well, that's great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I know, Dr. Ayala, I know we've got upcoming at the Air Resources Board. We're going to be advocating for more resources for our region to make sure that Sacramento region gets its fair share. Do want to thank Board Member, Councilmember Maivang for willing to participate in that effort as well. And with that, since I don't see any more board members wishing to comment, we still have closed session, and I do like to get everyone out by, if we can, by 10 o'clock. Are there any other comments before we move on to closed session here? If not, our board clerk's gonna put us into a separate room. This is always a little strange where they zip us over. Kind of
Yes.
reminds me of the Matrix when you choose the green pill or the blue pill. But so hold on here.
That's
Councilmember Laloe, yes.
Thank you. I just want to ask, and I want to make sure that this is the right forum and the right board. As you know, the cannabis industry is a new multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's definitely has shown its face in our city. Doing some research on this, I found out that a cannabis plant produces VOC, which is a volatile organic compound called terpenes. When this is mixed with nitrogen oxide, it actually creates nausea, fatigue, and liver damage. I know that when we think about green and clean air, the conversation is always towards gasoline and green energy. Is this a topic that we should kind of look at this stage before it's too late? I mean, and again, the mass majority of these facilities are in underserved communities. And when I read about this, as we are celebrating the groundbreaking of a all green mobile hub, and then I'm reading this where I have about 2 million square feet of cannabis cultivation in my district, it was kind of concerning. That is this going to be the next big issue that our community members have to deal with? So I just wanted to put that out there, and please forgive me if this is the wrong committee, and I guess I can use not having the political experience as an excuse. So.
Not at all. Not at all. Well, not at all. What I'll do is I'll ask our staff to follow up with you on this. This was a major topic of discussion. I think it was about 4 years ago, and then it continued on about where our regulatory authority was. And I also was one of the advocates to ensure that we had the ability to use whatever authority this air district has to regulate those issues. And so it's obviously much more than the time allotted for us to hear today. But what I'll add, and it's not agendized, but I will ask is if our staff can follow up with you to let you know kind of where our authority, how far it goes, where it extends, and then where the gaps are in our both federal and state authority to regulate the industry.
I would greatly appreciate, as I said, when I read that it affects the ozone layer severely and possibility of causing liver damage. Those were all like kind of a red flag for me that this conversation needs to be, we got to engage in this. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a conversation about green we had 4 years ago. So different type, but well, with that, Madam Clerk, could you send us over to the Zoom room, I guess?
Yes, I'll send you guys all over right now.
Great. And then for members of the public, we'll be right back. After closed session, the board clerk and the air pollution control officer and I will be back to close out the meeting and report out anything from closed session. So thank you, Madam Clerk. We're back. We're calling this meeting back to order from closed session at 10:02 a.m. on February 25th. Kathy, if a council could report out from closed session and any other reports.
Sure. The board authorized me to settle the action in the case of the Sacramento Air District versus Cal Inc.
Great. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, I believe that concludes our agenda and material for the day. Dr. Yell, anything else? Okay. If not, thank you, Councilmember Daniels. We're adjourned at 10:03 a.m.
Thank you, Chair. We'll see you.
Thank you.
All right,
Have a good one, everybody.